Now, good morning, good afternoon. I have the habit of saying good morning, but I need to get out of that habit because it's not morning, is it? All right. Hello, Pipson. Welcome. Seeing several of you coming on now, Alice. Other names: Samantha, Joseph. Okay, now full disclosure. If you feel uncomfortable, I just want to back up here. If you feel uncomfortable with me saying your names in this live stream, I don't want to do that because I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. Okay, I don't want to send out any kind of vibration or give you any, qualities that you don't want to see. Because if you feel uncomfortable with me just saying your names as you're here, then, let me know. Okay, because I don't want to do that, and I certainly probably wouldn't. Now, it all depends on the personality trait. Now, personally, with females, they're much better off if they were to say my name in the chat. I mean, you watch Maria De Simone's live stream. She sits and she sees people come on and just, says hello to them. And she gives, we all have our different personalities and we all give out different, vibrations and, give out different qualities. And it depends upon the person. If you like them and if their personality and, the way that they do it makes you feel happy or calm or, uplifted or, they're right for you. And you don't feel uncomfortable by that. And then there are other people who just simply just say hello or just ask a simple question, and you are sitting there and you feel out of your element. You feel like the situation is not for you, not right for you, and you feel like this person, this environment is not my circus and not my monkeys. And that's what I've titled this live stream. Now, I can't say that about two of my classes. Now, remember how I used to put the music fundamentals class with the professor from Guyana, the person who I was talking about? Well, I'm going to do that with the composition classes now because that becomes more important for me to be in right relationship with Jessup Bonstetter. I don't mind saying his name. It does not make me feel uncomfortable to say his name. He was just here at my Menton a couple of days ago. And it's critical for you, I think, to, I don't want to say that, but now, because he was here, you have a better understanding of who he is. You have an understanding of what his personality is like, of how he talks, that he looks like a hippie, a surfer, Count Olaf. Don't tell him that, obviously. Don't tell him that I said that. But he does resemble Count Olaf. His appearance, his size, his being thin, and the sort of qualities that he possesses in terms of his appearance. Yeah, he does look like Count Olaf. And I'm going to be honest about that because what is Menton? but a huge part of it is resemblances. And sometimes those resemblances aren't always the best resemblances to tell people, oh, you remind me of this person. So, there are ethics, of course. There is a right and wrong, and you can naturally, get a feel for, what's better or worse to say to somebody. But because of their resemblances, and sometimes you want to express some people in resemblance as those people resemble really negative traits, and maybe you could compare the better one out of that couple of people, and then a lot of people in resemblance because of really positive traits that they share. um you know So he does look and resemble like Catalan. He does look and resemble Jonathan Bezards, who was a lit teacher, American lit teacher. He looks like him. He does sort of has the same sound similar to Joan Cusack, although I should not continue speaking about that conversation. And I could see him surfing on the waves. I could also see him working in a coffee shop. I could also see Jessup playing the guitar and singing songs, composing music. And there's very dude-like qualities to his kind of personality, which, for those of you that were at that meeting and you heard him speak, that type of, I just want you to know, that type of personality, I am not a fan of. I am not the most compatible with. I don't care for that kind of personality. It is not for me. It does not match, and it is not, I am not in right relationship with it. I do not resonate with it. I am basically stepping into the skate park. My metaphor for stepping into a situation that is not right for me. And that's really, really huge, because with the words of Kelly Rosano, who I'm, really, feeling called to invite her to the Invention, she said, and I want to sort of paraphrase, quote the best I can, when you do what's right for you, it is right for everyone else. And you're the sun center of your universe. Everyone revolves around you. And with Leo, in the sign Leo, we are coming up to a full moon in Leo, you can empower yourself. Now, by all means, go and see her previous video on the full moon in Leo, because she isn't, producing videos now. And I was just looking at her latest video on the full moon in Virgo last year we had on the 18th of March. There were comments saying, oh, we missed you. We want you to come back. Where are you? We're worried about you. We hope you're okay. People being concerned and sending positive messages of hope. And I really do hope that she does come back. And, I certainly do not want to be the pushy type of person. I do not want to be the judgy type of person, the judgmental person. I do not want to be that person. I do not want to force people to do things that they don't want to do, because I don't believe in that. Because guess what? It is probably, there's a good chance it's not going to feel authentic to what they want to do. It is coming from me and what I want them to do. And that is so huge. And maybe I've believed that all along, or I've changed my beliefs, just like I may have believed in authenticity all along, although maybe I didn't form that connection with it, or I didn't realize it yet, or I didn't come to terms with, the best thing people can be is themselves and authentic. Acting, being authentic with their acting and showing that now there is some semi-independent reading stuff going on. There is that dark cloud, which is okay. They have to act and they have to play a role, and they have to play their part and do their thing because if the director tells them, that's the dark cloud, the dictatorial authoritative force that takes away someone's freedom to do whatever they want to do. Yeah. So anyway, I could go on with that whole spiel, but I'm not going to. I want to talk about today. So I'm going to, the other two classes, I'm going to save till the end. I'm actually going to, backtrack. Oh my gosh. This is where I get indecisive about contradicting myself. So anyway, I'm not putting these two classes below this one. I'm actually putting them above this one because, I didn't have much to say about these classes, which is a really positive thing. One of which, he was talking about the scientific method, and he was talking about confirmation bias, hindsight bias, all those kind of things, the scientific method. Variables, independent variables, dependent variables, basically the basics in science. And I mean, it wasn't the most exciting, thing in the world, but he tried to, he made it interesting, and, easy. And so, yeah. And then, the one thing I'll say about the music fundamentals class or the music foundations class is he teaches, but then the students sort of steer his ship in another direction, and he goes off in another direction, and he gets off topic. I don't feel like I want to get into some of the stuff that he was speaking about, but he was sort of veering off course and getting distracted, not sticking to, okay, what I need to teach. And I'm lost, and I feel like I'm not gaining a whole lot from that course, and I really, want to. But he, I would say, just stay on task and make it more, important than you're making not something. Okay, well, this is the information, but like it matters because you're going to get off talking about something else, and it is 50-50, the students applying themselves and the teacher, teaching the material. So, I don't have too much to say in terms of, negativity or flaws or criticisms or anything of that nature. I am going to, put that kind of on the higher shelf. And that's a really good thing when I put things on the higher shelf. Down but on the lower shelf, or I shouldn't say that. I should say, let's just on sort of, you think of the elevator, and I don't want to call some floors better or worse than others, but now we're basically up at the top floor or near the top floor, and now we're going to go down almost to the basement. Okay, we're gonna slip down to the basement, not like the basement, but near there or the basement. Well, let's just go down to the basement. So those were higher up situations. This is a lower down situation I'm going to talk about. Today, I came to the realization that it is not just the teacher. And remember, I said, guess what? I didn't have any plans except for that music video, which is a long time coming, and it'll sort of be made over time of many other plans going on. And I said I didn't have any plans, and he was like, well, I have, I need to go home. I need to teach. So, that's what I did. And, yeah, um, great. That works for me. That works for you. So he is not here. He was not, I didn't officially invite him as an Edmonton guest. And I don't like saying that because it puts some people above others and it makes him less than. But I invited him for exploratory reasons. I will tell you that I'm very concerned about two particular days, March 7th and April 20th. Those are the 2 days that I'm a little bit concerned about. What's happening March 7th? Well, we probably have a lunar event going on. I should be home for a lunar, well, not that that matters because it's unfair to, all of you, but I want to be home for those new moons and full moons. Full moon in Virgo around that time, if not that day. But more significantly, we have Saturn moving into Pisces. When Saturn moves into Pisces, I will be walking. I will be opening my arms like this and taking in the sun. And probably doing those little story segments where I'll say a daily bit of sunlight. Where I'll be going outside and getting sun. I won't be jumping because I don't jump. I don't jump. Not me. But I will be definitely moving around, and maybe I'm nervous about Saturn and Pisces and sort of the old problems, the current problems, I should say, coming to the end because Saturn and Aquarius deals with challenges and obstacles, but the new problems coming in with Saturn and Pisces. And so maybe, I wonder what the health issues are going to be, and I wonder, what's going to be happening for that. And I hope that I'm going to be feeling, emotionally feeling that, because I just feel like these transits happen, these planetary transits. The sun moves into this sign, the moon moves into this sign, and I don't feel it. I feel like I'm crispy critter a lot of the time. The moon's in this sign, but, I don't know if I feel this. And so, yeah, I really hope that I am impacted by that Saturn in Pisces. And I think I'm, pretty good where I'm at right now, but, I wonder what that's going to be. But Saturn in Pisces, Pisces is sensitivity, and the moon is in Pisces today. And the sun is in Aquarius. But let's talk about the moon in Pisces. Very sensitive placement. As I said before, Pisces is really sensitive to people's vibrations and energy. There's a certain taste buds that they have toward this person and, this color or this dish or, all this kind of things become real important. And it's a sign that wants to go, in side, and it's a water sign, so it's about retreating, and and going inward. So it's very it can lend itself toward empathic qualities as well. So so those are some of the things I want to chat about, and the intuition becomes heightened, and you become more attuned to that. And you become more attuned to which situations are right for you and worth your energy and breath and time, and which are not. Which situations are right for you, work for you, and on the other end of the spectrum, whichever way you want to go, which situations are not your circus and not for monkeys. I was in one of those situations, and I was sitting there thinking, is Mr. Tyson going to come right in here, and along with all the other people that I have had difficulty with in terms of my relationship with, are they going to come in here? Because now I am an adult, and I'm officially in the adult world. I am not in a situation that I feel like I am above. I am not in a situation with a bunch of, students with challenges below what I have. I am not in a situation where I have to work at a lousy and monotonous job. I am not in a situation where I have to overhear a teacher criticizing and digging into and probing into a friend of mine. I'm not in a situation where I don't know. But I am in a situation where I kind of feel like really kind of like it's draining. It's kind of draining, honestly. It is draining to sit in that room. It's such a small room, and those vibrations that carry throughout the room have a sort of heavy and kind of intense, easy to recognize emotional volume and level to it. Now, it isn't just the teacher who talks like a surfer, talks like a hippie, looks like a hippie. It isn't just the teacher who shows personality traits that are I'm going to make up a word, skate parkian traits, because if you've ever been to a type of situation like that, then you can probably guess what kinds of people go to skate parks and those kind of personality traits. And I could compare that situation to the other, but except it dealt with writing and it dealt with technical, critical, important, valuable, and practical skills. But it's one of those things where, I don't care about this, isn't worth my time. Oh, but it's writing and it's critical. Now, recall that Betty McGarry, who was last year, I did not dislike her personality. So it's sort of flip-flop now. It's where I really, I liked her personality, I got along with that, and I really liked it. But the work and the, serious, like, cross the I's, dot the T's, and the, intensity and the, the volume of work. And then now this class is easier, but then that teacher's personality I don't feel it's compatible to me. And I'm pretty open when it comes to personalities, but there were two people in that room that were peas in a pod. One of them was the teacher, Jessup. The other one was a student. And let me tell you, you sit down with some people and you do not have the words to respond to what they have to say. And when you don't know how to respond to their questions and you're sitting there bewildered and beside yourself in disbelief that you're in a situation and you're in feeling disbelief with this person with this personality type that doesn't match you. That's how I was feeling, because I was sitting there. What? Okay, I was sitting there and I didn't know what to answer. and I felt really not, myself, and out of my, you know, out of my element. And I felt really uncomfortable, and I did not know how to contribute and open up to this particular person. Um, I really didn't. And here's another negative trait. I said the smallest things, and you know, he was, you know, like asking, "What did you say? What did you say?" Like sometimes I say things that I don't want others to hear. Sometimes I say things without addressing somebody else. Now, do not, do not, be devil's advocate and the right and wrong person, because otherwise, you're going to turn into that, and I'm sure you don't want to. But anyway, well, regardless, forget I said that. Um, but point is, I just can't, I just wish I had it on tape. Because I'm trying to, just kind of, just kind of recall, but that person, um, obviously not my type of person, not my circus, not my monkeys. That's how I felt. It just was not worth my energy and breath. And it was not worth me trying to answer and talk to this person, even though he is older than I am, a generation or generations older. Um, no, not my type. And, his personality, recall, for those of you who saw the live stream and were here, remember, Jessup's personality. The personality of this person, his name was Luke. His personality, it was similar. It was sort of more, down, dude, like I should say. But anyway, that was one thing I, didn't care for. And then the final little piece is that people do not mean bad or mean by what they're saying. However, I have had some karmic history with when I am criticized in front of other classmates. We were doing something which sounds so trivial, and basically it was a group thing where or what was it, where we needed to ask questions, and someone asked the questions, it was outlined, and then the other person answered, and there was a back and forth conversation. I was having a conversation with this person, getting to know him, and then the teacher was saying, what did you come up with, or what did you say, or how did you respond, or something like that. And then he was like, "Oh, I didn't know that there was an agenda to this." And the next thing, and this is easier to try to synthesize, and imagine, hopefully, because he was here, the other day, and see, his personality, know how he, talks, presents himself. I'm coming. But the next thing that he said was something along the lines of, well, talking about me, well, he should have, kept you on track or something like that. They should have, kept up with that, or, referring to me in front of people. And I found that really inconsiderate. I mean, I do not like to be put in a situation where that's the type of attention that I get onto other people. Where somebody is saying, well, he should have, done this, and then put the negative attention toward the responsibility and blame and the negative spotlight on me. I didn't approve of that. I didn't appreciate that. So, that's the one thing I'm going to say. And, that kind of personality and those types of teachers that put people on the spot like that, sorry, not my circus, not my monkeys. Those types of classrooms, those types of students and their personalities. Um, this person was telling, um, this person was telling a story of, because we were trying to, in group work, telling stories, because having to come up with a story, and the story that this person was telling was, absolutely not worth my energy spending about, I don't know what it was. But I didn't have anything to respond to it. It was just, again, not my circus, not my monkeys. And so, yeah, I felt out of my element. I was uncomfortable. I was drained energetically and emotionally. So that's what I want to say. That's my spiel for today. And yeah, I hope it's not going to happen again. It certainly won't be happening on April 20th, because I will not be in that room on April 20th.